Hey everyone, MTash here, and the 3.3 live stream just happened. It looks pretty sweet. There's some new characters to enjoy, some new mini games to play. Oh, and a big spooky Aratagi-ito. Let's talk about everything coming in 3.3, but first, a word from our sponsor. Fun fact, MTash is actually a part owner of Evolve PCs. We make gaming PCs that are entry-level or even high-end boutique top-tier $5,000 bangers. If you're looking to get into the PC gaming, then go to Evolve PCs with the link down below and use code MTASHED. There's also some amazing Thanksgiving Black Friday deals, so if you want to save some money, then click the link down below and check out Evolve PCs. All right, so they have some Halloween events going on. It looks like quite a bit of different mini games. There's a 4-star sword you can get, but there's also quite a bit of story going on with a new Archon quest explaining Scaramouche. This is like a cyber Irminsul. It looks pretty darn good overall. I'll be curious to see how this all plays out. Why is he Animo? It seems like he's broken free of his chains. He's freeing himself and becoming the God of Wind. Not actually the God of Wind, but it looks pretty cool. I'm excited to see how this all plays out, but we won't be able to enjoy this for a few more weeks. There are some new artifact sets, and they look kind of cool. The top one, obviously going to be super valuable for the Wanderer. Animo damage bonus plus 15%. When a charged attack hits an opponent, the equipped character's normal attack speed will be increased by 10%, while charge and plunge damage will be increased by 40%. So you can spam charge attacks or plunge attacks and get 40%. Does anyone know if this is a buff for Xiao? Animo damage and plunge damage increased by 40%. Is this mathematically an upgrade for Xiao? I'm not sure. Will it be good for Scaramouche? I'm sure it will be good for Scaramouche. But this is an interesting little set overall. Xiao does have that other set where when your HP drops, you get like attack or something like that. Can't remember. So I don't know. I don't know what is going to be better, but it's interesting and it's an option. The other thing to consider is if it's close, if you look at someone like Ayato, there's like a couple different sets. You could use Gladiator, you can use the Hydro set. If it's close, Xiao might benefit from getting a really good set of this. Even if it's not perfect, it still could be really good if you were farming this set for someone. So sometimes there is value in that, and you can enjoy both. Now, this set seems really interesting. Toma OP with Burgeon. I've heard that Toma Burgeon builds can be kind of good. Even Diluc can be interesting with Burgeon, apparently. I haven't tested it myself, but this can increase the reactions of Bloom, Hyper Bloom, and Burgeon by 40%. That is actually really, really interesting. Additionally, after the equipped character triggers the Bloom, Hyper Bloom, or Burgeon, they will gain another 25% bonus to that effect mentioned prior. Each stack lasts for 10 seconds, and you can get 4 stacks of it. So you can get 80% more Bloom, Hyper Bloom, and Burgeon damage, if I'm reading that correctly. That's pretty crazy. I think that's pretty cracked. This might be interesting on like Kuki Shinobu. Maybe you could use it on Fischl. Nailu comes to mind. Maybe this would be crazy on Nailu. Although, are you proccing the Hyper Blooms with Nailu? Or the Blooms? I'm not sure exactly. I've never really built her. But it seems like a really cool set. So that is always interesting to me when they add new sets, when it opens up the doors for new characters to shine, or even a new playstyle for a character. You know, the idea of proccing some of these things with a Toma or Kuki and using a different set from what we've been kind of used to. I love that. I truly love that. Am I going to farm this? If I'm not getting the Wanderer, I don't have Xiao. This seems pretty low value and pretty niche overall, so I might not do that, but hey, it's up to you what you want to do with your resin. As for the banners, Arataki-Ito is getting a rerun, and he's going to be alongside the Wanderer. And then Farazan, who's not in the game yet, she will be on Arataki-Ito and the Wanderer's banner. However, the rerun banners, which I think a lot of people are going to be excited for, Raiden Shogun is coming. If you don't have Raiden Shogun, get Raiden Shogun first over all else. Save your Primo Gems for Raiden Shogun. She's absolutely game-breakingly good. She is freaking broken. She gives everyone tons of energy. She hits like a truck. She's so bustedly good. Just get her, okay? Ayato is also getting a rerun. I like Ayato, but he's kind of like a side grade or a slight downgrade in some cops, or a slight upgrade compared to Child, who's literally available right now, wherever Tartaglia is. They're good in different ways. I like Ayato because I don't like Child's playstyle myself. Some people find him boring. But get Raiden Shogun. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. We're done. As for the weapons, the free sword is an EM sword. And you tag the enemy, and when you tag them, you can deal 16% more damage to them, which is 32% more damage. That actually seems pretty interesting, because if they're debuffed, technically, you could then swap to your other characters and dish out the damage. So this seems kind of strong as a support weapon for someone like Kuki Shinobu. You tag them, and then you swap to your other characters and just pump them with damage. I actually think that it's very unique. I think it'd be a good support weapon. You could also use this on Kazuha. I think that's actually sleeper OP. I think it's actually pretty good. Because instead of just Kazuha doing the damage, everyone is doing the bonus damage. This seems really good to me. I think this seems like one of the best swords overall for a 4-star unit, or a 4-star sword, or a free event unit, whatever you want to call it. I am a big fan myself, so... the 5-star weapon, normal attack speed increased by 10%. So this is just a flat normal attack speed bonus. After the wielder unleashes elemental skill, normal attack damage is increased by 4.8% every second for 14 seconds. So this scales up over time. After hitting an opponent with a normal attack during this duration, normal attack damage is also increased. This can be triggered every 0.3 seconds. So the normal attack damage increase per duration is 48%. A very long-winded thing to say you attack faster and your normal attack damage will be increasing. So it's got a crit damage boost. So I'm guessing Scaramouche will be crit rate, is my guess. And then you're getting a crit damage boost. This is a very niche weapon. Do not get this weapon, essentially, unless you're using Scaramouche. If you're using other main DPS Catalyst users, I suppose it could work, but I would not recommend this to literally anyone. It would work on Haijo as well. Someone in chat said Haijo it would work for, but Catalyst users, normal attacking typically feels really clunky. I'm not a big fan of it. I would not recommend that weapon to anyone in-game ever, and that's all there is to it. So they did show some gameplay of the Wanderer and Farazan. He looks pretty cool overall. He can float around doing Anemo attacks. He's a Catalyst user, but if you use different elements, you can actually get these little buffs to extend his ability to float around and things like that. He seems all right. He seems pretty cool. I'm not sure if he's my style overall, but we'll see. Now, Farazan, she is an Anemo debuffer and buffers. She's like Kujo Sara, but Anemo. I'm not sure I love the clunkiness of using her E ability, doing a charge shot. We've seen that with Kujo Sara, and it doesn't feel very good, but she can do some interesting buffing and debuffing, and she might be pretty cool overall. Let's skip ahead to some other stuff. So there's a bunch of mini games for this event where you can get a sword, a crown, some primo gems. One of them is like a pinball one. I don't have the footage of it. I could go do it, but also I'm a bad content creator, so why would I do that? I don't know if there's more mini games. They didn't actually show all of them off, but there's different tests of courage, and pinball was one of them. So I don't even know if we know everything about this event. Maybe I misread that, but you can get a sword. Apparently, it's an EM scaling sword, and apparently it looks like it could work on someone like Kuki Shinobu. But again, I don't look at leaks officially, so I don't know. Now, there's a balloon chasing event. You can chase some balloons around. This is, again, another parkour move around the map event. Does not look very fun to me. I just, after the first event like this, I was pretty bored. And as soon as this part of the stream started going on, I was kind of rolling my eyes like, again? We're going to collect balloons this time instead of butthole? I don't know. I just don't find these events very fun. You literally walk around the map, you jump a couple times, and it's done. It is almost zero fun for me. The only reason it's done is for Primo Gems, and I'm sick of them. So here's another event. Not really excited about that one. Let's skip ahead. Wind Trace is back. It does appear that they made some good changes. So I'm going to harp on the old Wind Trace. I know that Wind Trace is a fan favorite for Genshin Impact. It's very, like, big. People love it. And I play it, and sometimes I have a good time. But I don't love it. That being said, they made a really good change that if you get caught early, if you get caught, you can still kind of stick around as a ghost and impact the battlefield a little bit. I think it'll be a lot more fun for people because if you get stuck right at the beginning, you don't just have to spectate for 20 years. It seems like it'll be a little bit more dynamic. I think it's a really good change. It seems like, probably the best update they've had for Wind Trace because it is a fan favorite. They need to kind of double down and make it good. But you can plant stuff down even as a ghost and kind of mess with the, mess with the boss or whatever you want to call him. Mess with this guy, the Seeker. So yeah, looks good. Wind Trace, sweet. Let's move on. There's not much more to say there. There's a Misty Dungeon. Misty Dungeon has been moved into a temple this time. So this is going to be the combat event. With this event, you are gifted a bunch of characters to use, and there's going to be different ley line effects and things like that. Typically, these events, because you're using kind of, what are they called? Demo characters, they're typically pretty darn easy. You can see here, you can make like a Dendro comp or something like that. And you explore the dungeon, you fight some regular mobs, and then you're done, and you get some Primo Gems. It doesn't appear to be any, like, sweaty gamer content like the Hypostasis event, which is on right now. Some people like challenging really hard enemies. Some people like walking through a dungeon and one-banging everything with Nahida. So let's move on from that. Double rewards from ley lines? Oh, man. Double rewards from ley lines. This one is epic. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about... there's a code here. I think there's another one. I suck at the game. I suck at content. There's another code. ET9 SupenB. Very nice. Let's keep going. All right. The card game. This is an interesting one. If you listen to the intro here, they literally ripped off Yu-Gi-Oh's story, apparently. There's a famous card gamer that possesses a kid with his soul. I should redo that. So, the card game, literally the lore from it is stolen from Yu-Gi-Oh! And they kind of said, wow, this sounds like a light novel. And it's like, no, it's actually stolen from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's interesting. But the card game looks pretty promising. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited for the card game a little bit. You can walk around. You can challenge different people and get rewards for beating them. You can see here, I'll just pause it in a second here. You achieve victory. You get some coins. And then get it within 6 rounds, trigger 2 elemental reactions. So there's going to be some little challenges to do. I'm guessing you can build different decks to do them. Like maybe you can do the 2 elemental reactions and achieve victory, but if you want to do achieve victory in 6 rounds, you might need a slightly different deck or something like that, depending on what they use. And so that looks pretty cool. You get currency from that, and you can buy cards. Now, the card game does look interesting to me. It appears you get kind of 3 main character cards, and then you have support cards. I'm guessing these are all kind of support cards. You can choose what attacks you want to use, and you can impact the battlefield with some of these support cards. Now, you also have these elemental energy here that can be used to execute some of your attacks. You can use a skill, a burst, or whatever it is, right? We've got 8 energy here, so we've got a bunch of pyro. And the thing is you can kind of, where is it? You can kind of roll for energy right here. I'm not a big fan of this. You roll for energy, so there's a bit of RNG on what elements you get, but you can use cards to impact how much energy you have. I'm not going to explain the whole game here. We're going to be able to play it in a couple weeks, but I don't love this system, if I'm being honest, because it adds quite a bit of RNG to a card game that, typically they're already RNG. I understand both players are getting impacted by this RNG, but it's harder to build a deck and min-max a deck when you don't know what elements you're going to be granted each deck, right? And so I don't like this system. I can already, as someone who's played a bunch of Hearthstone, I've played a bunch of Runeterra, I've played Magic the Gathering. I do not like this system, and I think that long term, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm going to be completely blunt with you. I think that people will not play this game long term because of it. I'm telling you that. You're going to lose a match because of bad RNG on the elements, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's going to feel really, really, really bad. And you can lose games to RNG in Hearthstone. You can lose, depending on the first cards you draw in Hearthstone. It happens all the time. But if you build a good deck in some other card games, you can mitigate the RNG. This is something that is really hard to control. And you can use a bunch of cards to impact it. I think they show it in just a second here with the different RNG. Yeah. So this guy here, this guy can turn one of the crystals into pyro. And that's awesome. But what if my deck needed 5 pyros and I've got one of them? I just can't get behind that. I really can't get behind that. So I don't know how the card game is going to play out overall. But this one here, if I was able to test this early, I would have given that feedback long ago. Apparently, someone is saying you can roll the dice twice. You can get unlucky twice. I'm not sure I love that. But the dice mechanic for me, as someone who's played quite a few card games, seems a little sussy baka. Like what if you chose Diluc, Kaya, and an Electro character, and all you get is Animo and Hydro stuff? Like, you literally could have a cucked deck. Day one, hand one, you could lose the game. It's like, yeah, there's no chance I'm going to win this. I just don't know about that. It seems weird. It seems weird to me. Anyways, the card game here, there's going to be different player levels as you play, as you win, as you fight. You get player experience, you get different cards that you can unlock, and you get Primo Gems for beating some of them, for leveling up. This is like your adventure rank. You can get some Primo Gems from doing that. Maybe it's 60 each level. I don't know what it goes to. Maybe it goes to level 10. Maybe it goes to level 20. I have no idea. But if you go in here, there is different cards that you can buy. You can buy weapons to boost your characters, some different outfits and things that can impact you. These look like artifacts, right? This is like an artifact set. So maybe you can equip like the Scarlet set or the Witches set on Diluc to buff him. I don't know. Now, you got equipment cards, you got support cards, you got event cards, which is pretty cool. It seems to be like some healing items. There's provisions. Yeah, there is Thundering Fury. So I could have literally just waited 2 seconds. Crimson Witch, Thundering Fury, all that stuff. So you can equip artifacts to your characters and boost them up, which is pretty darn cool. Now, the other thing they show off here, you can see these are like 700, 500, 700, 500. They're all going to be around that price. Now they've got dynamic skins for character cards, equipment cards, support cards. These are animated skins, and they're 4,000 each. If you actually want to do well in this game mode, don't buy the dynamic skins. That is super expensive. Make sure you have the cards. You've got all the meta cards. You've got all the stuff to build your deck first, so that you can do the challenges to get more currency to eventually get this stuff and get leveled up. But if you buy these things really early, you're going to slow down your progress tremendously. It would be like if you look at the people that took Serenity Pot seriously early and they built up their economy, they could finish it all. They could get all the books, they could get all the experience, the Mora, you can get all the Primo Gems super quickly, realistically. Like, we're talking like a week or two. If you're lazy with the Serenity Pot, it would take you months to get all the stuff unlocked. Like, it was brutal. And the same thing is going to happen here. If you're willy-nilly spending these coins, it's going to destroy your progress. It's going to be really, really slow. There's probably some sort of weekly economy, but there's also going to be the economy from playing. And I'm guessing the higher your player level, the more coins you get kind of per week, because eventually they're going to want you to be able to buy out the whole shop, right? But there's not going to be enough NPCs to buy all these things. There's just no way. They would need like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of NPCs to be able to buy out this shop. So there has to be some sort of passive economy of coins. So you need to get that passive economy as soon as possible by winning matches, leveling up, yada, 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 if that makes sense. Okay? So I would recommend you get all the meta stuff, get all the cards, get your decks going before you ever do this stuff. And that's pretty much it. There's a bunch of mini games, and then there's the card game. That's all they really talked about. And then obviously Archon Quest. So I'm excited for the Archon Quest to see how the heck did we get Animo, Wanderer, Scaramouche. What happened here? And then, you know, the events are just kind of typical events. They seem really filler event. And so that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm going to enjoy the card game as much as I can. We're going to hopefully have some fun with it. But you know me. You know how I feel. I'm not going to rant. See you guys. Have a good day. Check out Evolve PCs. Link down below if you want to get yourself a PC and save some money. Use code MTASHED at checkout. Okay. Thanks again. See you later.